Welcome back to Low Bear and Dad. This is mission 42, Leading Without Authority, How to Influence and Inspire When You're Not in Charge. Here's what nobody tells you about leadership. Most influential people, probably don't have the biggest titles. They're the NCOs, non-commissioned officers, who really run the military, the teachers who change lives without being principals, and the parents who shape communities without holding office, and the coworkers who make everyone else better without being managers. Real leadership isn't about having power over people. It's about having power with people. It's about influence, earned through competence, character, and service, not influence demanded through position or authority. So today we're learning how to lead from where you are, not where you wish you were. I would like to be on a remote island somewhere. Whether you're trying to improve your workplace culture, strengthen your family dynamics, make positive change in your community, or just be someone others look to for guidance. This episode's about building influence that matters. We'll cover the psychology of authentic influence, real-world strategies for creating change without formal authority, military and sports examples of leaders who influence through example, and practical tools for inspiring others when you can't give orders. Because the world doesn't need more people with titles. It needs more people with courage to serve others and the competence to make their lives better. So let's start with what research tells us about influence and leadership. Studies from Harvard Business School show that people with formal authority often have less real influence than people who lead through competence and relationships. When you can fire someone, you get compliance. When you earn their respect, you get commitment. Military understands this intuitively. The best units aren't led by officers who bark orders. Did you hear that, First Lieutenants? Butter bars? Come on. They're led by leaders at every level who earn trust through competence and care for their people. A good sergeant has more influence over daily operations than most colonels. Here's what separates authentic influence from manipulation. And I'm going to read this like a good versus evil thing. So, authentic influence serves others' interests alongside your own. Manipulation serves only your interests at others' expense. Authentic influence builds people up and makes them stronger. Manipulation uses people's weaknesses against them. Authentic influence creates lasting positive change. Manipulation creates short-term compliance but long-term resentment. The psychology of influence without authority works through several key principles. Consistency. When your actions match your words over time, people trust your judgment. Social proof. Social proof. When you model the right behavior, you want to see others follow your example. Type in something real quick. Reciprocity. When you consistently help others, they want to help you back. Social proof. When you model the behavior you want to see, others follow your example. Liking. People are influenced by those they respect and enjoy being around. Authority through expertise. Competence creates influence more than position does. Think about someone who has influenced you positively but had no formal authority over you. What made you want to follow their lead? Was it their competence? Maybe their character? How about the way they treated you? Because you should always treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Or is it how they served others? Think about that. I'm trying to think of an example right now. I think people that I follow, it's just because a lot of the times they're more knowledgeable than me. And maybe it's the way they teach me how to manage others Um, I mean, really growing up, I guess like in cross country, because I ran cross country once upon a time. My coach at that time, he was so humble and nice to be around, but in the same sense, he demanded the best out of you. So that's why I kept coming back to cross country. I started it my junior year, so I was already, 2 years later. But and I think band, I had a favorite instructor in band. I used to play jazz band, and I was on the alto sax, and I think the music teacher then was so influential because he inspired others, and that's what made me continue into high school. So when you're doing band, you always want to be inspired, like, because you can go in, if you know how to read music, you can just play the music, continue, and you're like, it's my extra core activity, whatever. Or you can just make it your passion because of the teacher who it's his passion. And because of him, his name was Dave Lebsack. I think he passed away, but he was watch, he hasn't passed away, and he listened to this and be like, nope, fully alive, thanks. But no, he inspired me to love music, and jazz music especially. So that's who I think about. And now think about your current situation. Where do you want to create positive change but don't have formal authority? Your workplace? Yes. Your family? Of course. Your community? What would be different if you approach this through influence rather than trying to get authority first? Most people wait for permission to lead, but leadership's about taking responsibility, not taking power. You don't need a title to solve problems. A cat, it's her time of the week or month or whatever, because she's howling. So if you hear that in the background, I apologize. But let's start that over. Most people wait for permission to lead, but leadership's about taking responsibility, not taking power. You don't need a title to solve problems, serve others, or set a positive example. Here's what stops most people from leading without authority: fear of overstepping boundaries, belief that they need permission to make things better, worry about what others will think, an assumption that change requires form of power. There's certain examples that it does. Like if you're trying to make a big purchase for a company, like I'm going to refer to my own. But there's times that my boss always preaches, like he's like, you always want to be proactive. You always want to get out there, see what better tools there are, and then go for it. Get a trial, try it out, and then bring it to us. But you don't just come empty-handed. You come with the pros and the cons. You come with the slideshow. You come with the reasons why we should move to this and what's the possible issues that we could foresee, So he always teaches about being proactive. And I guess, and that's the sense of, that just because he's the director doesn't mean someone lower can come up with a better idea. And that's why I appreciate him for that. So, but the most effective leaders often start by leading themselves well, then expanding their influence through service and competence. So let's look at some Q&As. I see problems at work, but I'm not a manager. How do I create change without overstepping? Start by being excellent at your own job. Then look for ways to help others succeed. Offer solutions, not just complaints. I noticed this issue and I had some ideas on my help. Would you like to hear them? Frame improvements in terms of team success, not personal recognition. My family looks to me for guidance, but I'm not the official head of household. How do I lead without being controlling? Lead through example and service, not direction. Model the behavior you want to see. Ask a question that helps others reach good conclusions. What do you think would happen if we tried this? Influence through consistency and care, not commands. I want to improve our community, but I'm not in any official position. Where do I start? Identify one specific problem you can help solve and start solving it. Volunteer for existing organizations, organize informal groups around shared interests, or simply start doing what needs to be done and invite others to join you. Actions create authority. Respect my authority. I had to say it. I'm a veteran trying to help other veterans, but I'm not connected to official organizations. Like this podcast. How do I build influence? All right, well, start where you are with who you know. Help one veteran at a time. Share resources, make connections, offer practical support. Your influence will grow as word spreads about your genuine care and effective help. Authenticity matters more than credentials. My boss makes bad decisions but won't listen to input. How do I influence up? Go around him, go straight to his boss. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Understand their priorities and pressures. Frame your suggestions in terms of their goals and concerns. Bring solutions, not just problems. Build trust through consistent, excellent work, and gradually offer strategic input. Sometimes you influence by making them look good. There you go. I want to mentor younger people, but I'm not in a formal mentoring role. How do I offer guidance without being pushy? Be available and helpful without forcing advice. Some people need to learn that. Share your experiences when relevant. Ask about their goals and challenges. Offer specific help. I've been through something similar. Would you like to grab coffee and talk about it? Let them come to you. Especially with like kids, right? I'm trying to improve teen culture, but some people resist change. I don't like change. How do I influence without causing conflict? Focus on the people who are open to positive change first. Create small wins that demonstrates the value of your approach. Don't try to convert everyone at once. Sometimes the best influence is showing a better way and letting others choose to follow. How do I know if I'm actually helping or just being annoying? Pay attention to results and feedback. Are people seeking your input? Are they implementing your suggestions? Do they seem genuinely grateful for your help? If you're not sure, we can ask directly. Is this helpful, or would you prefer I step back? It's the best approach sometimes, just to be direct. Don't be rude direct, like, is this helpful, really? Come on. Or, do you need me to go into another room? You know, don't be like that. Be like, hey, is what I'm doing helpful for you at all? Or do you need me to not say anything? Sometimes it's better just to listen, right? All right. So I know it's my favorite. Hopefully it's your favorite, but today's military day in history, August 28th. On August 28th, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Is that true? August 28th? Huh. Man, I thought I knew my history. This represents one of the history's greatest examples of leading without formal authority. Dr. King had no official government position, no military rank, no corporate title, but he influenced an entire nation through moral authority, compelling vision, and personal courage. His leadership came from his ability to articulate shared values and inspire people to act on their highest principles. And yeah, for sure. 1944, Allied forces completed the liberation of French ports of Toulon and Marseille on August 28, 1944. This success required coordination between American, British, Canadian, and French resistant forces, many of whom had no formal command authority over each other. French resistant leaders influenced through local knowledge and relationships, while Allied officers influenced through competence and shared mission. Victory came from leaders at every level taking initiative within their sphere of influence. On August 28, 1990, Saddam Hussein declared Kuwait to be Iraq's 19th province, attempting to legitimize his invasion through formal authority. This contrasted sharply with the coalition response, which was built through influence and persuasion rather than force. President Bush and other leaders had to build international consensus without having authority over other nations. Their influence came from shared values, mutual interests, and moral clarity about right and wrong. So think about Dr. King's leadership. He changed the world without holding any formal office. His influence came from his ability to help people see a better future and inspire them to work toward it. What vision do you have for positive change in your sphere of influence? Whether you're leading through social change, military operations, or international coalitions, the most effective leaders often influence through moral authority, competence, and shared vision rather than formal power. They create change by helping others see possibilities and inspiring them to act. Your influence works the same way. You don't need permission to solve problems, serve others, or set a positive example. You just need the courage to start and the competence to deliver results. So, moving on to today's salute goes to everyone who leads through service rather than position. To the NCO who really runs the unit, because we know they do. Taking care of soldiers while making officers look good. I like how I worded that. To the teacher who changes lives one student at a time, influencing the future without needing recognition. To the parent who leads their family through example, creating the culture they want to see. To the coworker who makes everyone else better, solving problems and building relationships without a management title. To the volunteer who organizes community efforts, bringing people together around shared values and common goals. To the mentor who invests in others' success, building influence through genuine care and practical wisdom. To the veteran who helps other veterans navigate civilian life, leading through experience and compassion. Leading without authority requires more courage, not less, because you can't rely on position or power. You have to earn influence through character and competence. Your leadership makes others stronger and more capable. If you've ever taken responsibility without being asked, solved problems without being assigned, or helped others succeed without expecting credit, this salute is for you. Your example shows others what real leadership looks like. Tag someone who leads through service. They probably don't realize how much their influence matters to everyone around them. So let's look at examples of leaders who built influence without relying on formal authority. John Wooden influenced players for decades after they left UCLA. His authority came from his character and wisdom, not just his position as coach. Players sought his advice long after their basketball careers ended because his influence was built on genuine care and proven principles. Sergeant Major of the Army Dan Daly influenced military culture across all ranks through his authentic leadership and focus on soldier welfare. His influence extended far beyond his formal authority because he consistently demonstrated that he cared more about soldiers than his own career. Maya Moore stepped away from basketball at her peak to fight for criminal justice reform. Her influence came from willingness to sacrifice personal success for principles she believed in. She led through moral courage rather than athletic achievement. General Colin Powell built influence across political parties and international boundaries through competence, integrity, and service. His opinions carried weight because people trusted his judgment and knew he put country above personal ambition. Billie Jean King changed sports and society through her... Oh, my cat. Through her advocacy for equality. Her influence came from... So Billie Jean King, by the way. Her influence came from her willingness to take stands that were unpopular at the time, backed by her excellence as an athlete and her consistency as a person. Command Sergeant Major Benny Adkins earned the Medal of Honor, but influenced more people through his quiet leadership and mentorship after the war. His authority came from his character and his genuine investment in others' success. So the pattern is clear. Leaders who build lasting influence do so through service, competence, and character. They influence because people trust their judgment and know they genuinely care about others' success. So think about your own opportunities to influence others. What would change if you focused on serving others' success rather than advancing your own position? How could you build influence through competence and character in your current situation? So, now for a hack of a day. Here's your framework for leading when you're not in charge. Step 1, build credibility. Before trying to influence others, prove you know what you're talking about. Do excellent work in your current role. Learn the details others miss, and become someone people trust for accurate information and reliable execution. Step 2, understand stakeholders. Identify who has formal authority, who has an informal influence, what motivates each person, and how decisions really get made. Understanding the system helps you work with it effectively. Step 3, find common ground. Frame your ideas in terms of what others care about. If you want to improve safety, talk to finance about cost savings from fewer accidents. If you want better teamwork, talk to managers about productivity gains. Step 4, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one small improvement you can make happen. Prove it works, and then use that success to build support for bigger changes. Start small, go big. Don't listen to that. Step 5, serve first. Look for ways to make other people's jobs easier. Help them achieve their goals. Solve problems they care about. When you consistently add value to others' lives, they become invested in your success. Step 6 is communicate vision. People support what they understand. Explain not just what you want to change, but why it matters and how it benefits everyone involved. Paint a picture of the future, or the better future you're working toward. And then the last step, step 7, persist through resistance. Change is hard, and people resist it naturally. Don't take pushback personally. Some people don't like change. Keep demonstrating value, addressing concerns, and showing through your actions that your approach works. So identify one positive change you want to see in your workplace, family, or community, and use this protocol to start making it happen. So on to our tech and veteran-owned business recommendations. First, we got tech. So some apps I use every day. Microsoft Teams. Build relationships and share ideas across organizations. I use it for a vendor, and I use it for our company. And it's a great way to communicate, especially if you're busy on a call or anything. You can just send a quick, hey, maybe we should look at doing this, right? So the Calendly, make it easy for people to meet with you and discuss ideas. The Todoist, track your commitments and follow through consistently. And LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great if you don't use it. It's a great networking tool, and you meet a lot of people there. But that's a place where you can share insights and build professional influence. So now for our veteran connected business spotlight. It's the 511 Tactical. They are based in Irvine, California, but they have a lot of major operations in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I chose Colorado for a reason. That reason is because I grew up there. So the mission is founded by climber Royal Robbins. The 511 Tactical creates tactical gear and apparel for military, law enforcement, firefighters, and outdoor enthusiasts. Their mission is always be ready, providing reliable gear for people who serve and protect others. What they offer: tactical clothing, boots, bags, accessories, and gear designed for durability and functionality. They focus on innovation and quality for professionals who depend on their equipment in high-stakes situations. Why they matter. 511 Tactical demonstrates leadership without authority by setting industry standards through innovation and quality, not just marketing power. They become industry leaders through competence and authentic service to military and law enforcement communities. They lead by example in the tactical gear space, influencing competitors and customers through superior products and genuine connection to the people they serve. Their influence comes from understanding their customers' needs and consistently delivering solutions that work under pressure. So some other ones for tech tools is Zoom and Google Meet, Notion, where you can organize and share ideas in collaborative formats, and Canva. Create visual presentations and communicate your vision. You can look at leadership development resources. LinkedIn Learning is awesome. I did a lot of that through college. And there's a lot of good courses out there from people who are experts in their fields, right? So they definitely have a lot of leadership courses and skill development. Coursera is a university-level leadership and management courses. Toastmasters International, public speaking and leadership skills. And then your local volunteer organizations, practice leadership through service. Military resource, still the same. You got OneSource, VA Work Study Program, Team Red, White, and Blue, and the mission continues. If you have any others, I'd be glad to share them. Just let me know in the comments. So, the last episode's brain teaser was, what has hands but cannot clap? Did you overthink it, or did you simply say it's a clock? Because it has hands that show time, but unless you're Beauty and the Beast, it can't clap. So here's your new challenge. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Think about this as you work on building influence this week. Sometimes the most powerful tools for leadership are the smallest and most overlooked. All right, so mission debrief. Hold on real quick. The best leaders often aren't the ones with the biggest titles. They're the ones who influence through competence, character, and service. Leading without authority requires more skill, not less, because you have to earn influence rather than demand compliance. So here's the action items for the week. Use the influence without authority protocol in one situation where you want to create positive change. Identify one way you can lead by example in your workplace, family, or community. Find one opportunity to serve others without expecting recognition or a reward. And then connect with the Load-Bearing Dad community at damefit.co. You can use Load-Bearing Dad at the checkout to get 15% off. And, if you're listening to this, please share it out with other vets or share it out with other people. It doesn't have to just be vets because I talk about everybody. But that is the main driven focus. But, I'd like to get this out more than anything. I ain't looking for anything. So I'm kind of doing this just from not me, but it is my way to express and talk. So yeah, please share it out with anybody and everybody. And it's just going to become, we're going to have 100 episodes by the end of the year. So our next mission preview, the art of difficult conversations, how to address problems before they become crisis. We'll dive into having tough talks with family, friends, and colleagues, how to speak truth with love, and practical strategies for turning conflict into connection. Here's my final thought. Leadership isn't about having power over people, it's about having power with people. When you lead through service and example, you create influence that lasts longer after any title or position is gone. Remember, you don't need permission to be a leader. You just need the courage to serve others and the competence to make their lives better. The world needs more people who lead from where they are, not where they wish they were. Subscribe, share with someone who's ready to step up and lead. And remember, influence is earned through service, not demanded through position. This is Load-Bearing Dad. Lead by example, serve without expecting credit, and keep caring what matters most, including the responsibility to make things better for others.